Hello friends, the Avengers are the biggest thing in Hollywood, with the franchise propelling its cast members to A-list status, if they weren't already there before. But does that cultural cachet translate into success in other projects? This week on Heat Vision Breakdown, we examine if movies outside the MCU starring Marvel's heroes have gotten a bump and who is the most successful Avenger of them all. Honestly, after having to keep in that kind of shape for a decade, I'd just be taking roles as a pastry chef or something. Being a Marvel Studios actor is something of a catch-22. On one hand, you're given the biggest platform in the world, and oh yeah, millions of dollars, but on the other, you also sign multi-picture deals that monopolize your time, making it hard to squeeze in other projects on the side. Despite the demands of being a Marvel superhero, a lot of the franchise's biggest stars have managed to still do work outside of the MCU, with varying levels of success. So let's explore the hits, misses, and most importantly, total box office haul of the core Avengers cast outside of the Marvel Universe. Because as we all know, the worth of anyone on camera is directly related to how much capital they generate for their corporate overlords. Give me a raise. Chris Evans. Chris Evans remains one of the most beloved members of the Avengers, thanks in part to his golden retriever-like charm, robust Twitter presence, and honestly, his biceps probably don't hurt either. Evans was famously hesitant to join the MCU, worrying about it monopolizing his time and taking away his anonymity. You know, the anonymity of a guy who had already been in 2 superhero films.
This is Dolce.
Since suiting up as Captain America in 2011, he arguably has had just 2 big screen successes outside Marvel. The critically acclaimed film Snowpiercer and 2017's Gifted, which earned positive reviews and did well at the box office, earning $43 million on a $6 million budget. That's called profit. In 2015, Evans made his directorial debut with Before We Go, which earned just $37,151 and had the star say of the film, "I'm okay with making mistakes, and I learned from that one." So, in other words, Evans hasn't been able to do much since playing Steve Rogers, but that's changing now that he's retired from the role. He has Rian Johnson's Knives Out coming up in November, he's top-lining Apple's Defending Jacob miniseries, and he'll star in Antoine Fuqua's Infinite as a guy who can recall his past lives. Ooh. Expect a lot more from Evans coming up. Worldwide box office total outside of the MCU since joining Marvel, $129 million. So you know, less than Avengers Endgame made on the Friday that it opened. Mark Ruffalo. Outside of the MCU, Ruffalo has had the most prestigious career of all the Avengers. Since first becoming a green rage monster in 2012, he's won an Emmy, been nominated for 2 supporting actor Oscars for Foxcatcher and Spotlight, and been nominated for 3 Golden Globes. Unlike his more action-heavy co-stars, Ruffalo's not a guy expected to carry a big franchise, and that's actually played to his advantage. Like Downey, Ruffalo was already a firmly established star before joining the MCU, and was even hot off his first Oscar nom for The Kids Are All Right in 2011 when he put on the tattered shorts of the Hulk and the Avengers. Total box office outside of Marvel, $863 million. But, you know, they're mostly for the Now You See Me movies. Not everything can be about prestige and awards. Chris Hemsworth. Hemsworth has stretched himself by working with legendary directors like Ron Howard and would-be awards contenders like Rush that never quite reached the level of cultural significance they seemed destined for. He's also worked with iconic director Michael Mann on the little-remembered Black Hat, a hacker drama he has since admitted doesn't quite work, probably because no hacker on Earth looks anything like Chris Hemsworth, like, at all. On the franchise side, he made 2 Huntsman movies, the latter of which he's admitted didn't quite work. That sounds familiar. And now he has a Men in Black spin-off aiming to spawn a new series. In recent years, Hemsworth really seems to have come into his own by embracing his comedic side, with a winning turn in the Ghostbusters reboot that helped prime audiences for just how funny he could be in Thor Ragnarok. Hemsworth is one of the few original Avengers who seems destined to continue with Marvel, and if anything, his star is only on the rise. Worldwide box office outside of Marvel, $1.2 billion. Robert Downey Jr. The main figure in the MCU, Robert Downey Jr. has been there since the beginning and raked in quite a bit of cash playing Tony Stark over the years. The dude made $5 million a day for 2017 Spider-Man Homecoming. Even James Holzhauer can't touch that. That joke will hold up. However, even when he's not Iron Man, Downey has some formidable box office clout. The same year he debuted in the MCU, Downey starred as a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude in Tropic Thunder, a role which earned him his 2nd Oscar nomination. The next year, he starred alongside Jamie Foxx in The Soloist and launched his other franchise, Sherlock Holmes, with Jude Law and director Guy Ritchie. Sherlock proved a success, earning a 2011 sequel and an upcoming 3rd entry slated for 2021. He's also trying to launch another franchise with The Voyage of Dr. Dolittle, a film that's been delayed and seems somewhat troubled. While the majority of Downey's resume in the 2010s is dominated by the MCU, he did turn in a small role in Buddy Jean Favreau's 2014 gastro-dramedy Chef, and a top-billed performance in 2014's The Judge with Robert Duvall, which didn't do great. Worldwide box office outside of Marvel, $1.3 billion. Way to go, RDJ. Jeremy Renner. Renner was an example of prestige casting when he joined the MCU as Hawkeye for a cameo in 2011's Thor. He He was fresh off a Best Actor Oscar nomination for Best Picture winner, The Hurt Locker. Since then, he's had one of the strongest careers of any of the Avengers. He was named the heir apparent of multiple franchises, though none of them really worked out. He was tipped to have Tom Cruise pass him the torch with 2011's Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Back when no one realized Tom Cruise is actually an unstoppable cyborg who would still be doing death-defying stunts into his late 50s. The dude is insane. Renner appeared in Rogue Nation in a small role and then just never showed up for last year's Fallout. Renner also relaunched the Bourne franchise, only to see Matt Damon return to take back the reins. And remember 2013's Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters? I wish I didn't. Outside of popcorn-friendly franchises, Renner has appeared in a number of prestige films such as Arrival and American Hustle. He even took time away from being a big-time action hero to star in the 2018 comedy Tag, which saw him break both of his arms. How? You fought Ultron without a scratch, but you couldn't handle playing a children's playground game with John Hamm, Hannibal Buress, and the dude from New Girl? Worldwide box office outside of Marvel? $2.4 billion. Way to go, Hawkeye. Scarlett Johansson. ScarJo is one of those actors who feel like they've never not been famous. So when she joined the MCU in 2010's Iron Man 2 as super spy Natasha Romanoff, she was already pretty widely known as a movie star. In the first 5 years alone since debuting as Black Widow, Johansson bought a zoo with Matt Damon, portrayed legendary actress Janet Leigh, was a New Jersey socialite dating Joseph Gordon-Levitt, played a weird alien lady that kills Scottish guys, voiced a sentient version of Amazon's Alexa that falls in love with Joaquin Phoenix, and basically became a femme fatale version of Bradley Cooper's character in Limitless. In more recent years, ScarJo has worked with Oscar winners the Coen brothers on Hail, Caesar, and done voice work in major moneymakers like Jon Favreau's Jungle Book and Illumination's Sing. But she's also been in underperformers like the ill-fated comedy Rough Night and the Ghost in the Shell adaptation that bombed at the box office. Worldwide box office outside of Marvel? $2.7 billion. Holy Scarjoli! Samuel L. Jackson. Sam Jackson is the highest grossing actor of all time thanks to starring in pretty much every blockbuster of the past 25 years. Even if you just look at what he's done since debuting Nick Fury in 2008's Iron Man, he runs circles around any other actor alive, even Tom Cruise. Let's just name a few of those roles and how much money they made at the box office. All right, we got Django Unchained, that's $425 million. We got Kong Skull Island, that's $566 million. Incredibles 2, that's $1.2 billion. Kingsman is $414 million. Glass is $247 million. Then he was in The Legend of Tarzan and Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. And Triple X3, there's a Triple X3? He made all of those? The point is, no one outworks Samuel L. Jackson, so don't even try. Worldwide box office outside of Marvel? $5 billion. Yeah. I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to Guardians of the Galaxy stars Chris Pratt and Zoe Saldana. Saldana is one of the biggest actresses in the world thanks to things like Avatar and the Star Trek franchises, though for the purposes of this video, we can't really touch on those as no Avatar sequels have come out since she joined the Guardians and 2 of her 3 Star Trek roles also premiered before she became Gamora. Pratt, however, I can talk about. And I'm going to. He's juggling both Marvel and the Jurassic World franchise, not to mention his voice work in the Lego movie, though the first one came out before Guardians 1 hit theaters in August 2014. Sorry, Chris, doesn't count. Pratt's worldwide box office outside of Marvel? $3.6 billion. So, you know, he's doing pretty good. So what have we learned? It can be hard comparing the work of Marvel stars outside of the MCU, especially as only some of the heroes have had their own standalone films, obviously taking up more of the actors' schedules. But what is undeniable is that being an Avenger is undoubtedly good for your career and your overall box office bottom line. Doesn't hurt if your name is Sam Jackson either. The end.